Halito everybody and welcome back to my channel. This is CT over the NYC Indian, and today we're going to be reviewing Love After Lockup PO Problems. Today's foolishness is going to be brought to you from an urban Native American perspective, a mixed perspective, and a secular perspective. So let's dive right on in. But before we do, we must consult the planets and see exactly what is in store for Harry and Indy, because this is very accurate, science. Indy has now picked up Harry from the halfway house, and he is insisting on having a cheeseburger. Now, I do not know why when he knows his family is making mofongo for him. Listen, people, if you've ever had mofongo, or if you haven't, I should say, you've got to try it. It's so delicious. It's slow cooked. It takes time. I mean, it's just so good. So knowing that they were putting this time and effort, and I know that he knows what goes into making mofongo, it's like, it's not like a fast cooked kind of thing. Like, why would you even get the burgers? And then not only is he getting burgers, he's getting burgers for people in the halfway house. I gotta hook up my friends. I mean, what are you talking about? They're driving around. It's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. The other family members, his other sister has left. They got babies sitting there. Indy has Indy has her baby as well. I don't know where the baby is. If the baby is in the back of the car, I was trying to see. I couldn't tell. But I mean, it's too late for all this nonsense. And he gets to his sister's place, and then it's all hell breaks loose because she's pissed. Obviously, the whole family had a party for him, and he didn't even show up. So he's going off and cursing, and he's still he has that Arrested Development kind of, that's what he displays, right? You can tell that he just has not matured. He hasn't had to, he's been incarcerated for so long, and he was so young when he was incarcerated that, things like paying bills and being responsible and having to follow rules and things like that, he doesn't even know what that is anymore, right? And if he even ever paid rent by himself before. He just looked so young when he went in. When you see the pictures of him when he first went in, he was so young, I can't imagine. So those stages of becoming a man were they kind of didn't happen, basically. You're behind bars. You're just learning from other ex-cons or prisoners, or other inmates, how to scam and how to run game. And, in jail, you learn how to, you can still drink. You can still get access to drugs and stuff like that. So it doesn't seem like he's come out of this, rehabilitated. I'm not saying he's broken any laws or anything like that, but he just seems like he's just one incident away from doing something, because he's just not in that state of mind like, oh my God, I've been in for a long time, and no matter what, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to stay out. I'm not getting that from him. And Indy is, Indy just doesn't have the self-esteem for her own self to even have the capacity to choose a partner who could, at least at this stage, maybe later on after she's gotten run over 100 times by, bad relationships, maybe she can learn. But at this point where she is right now, she just doesn't have that capacity to choose someone who is worth her while, and someone who should be and deserves to be around her child. Harry's, he's a kid. He's a kid, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to jail. He just has too much of a I don't give a damn kind of attitude. And those people, you look at recidivism rates, they're pretty high in the United States, right? Because, people learn a lot of bad stuff behind bars, especially when they've been there long enough. So I just, was so disappointed that he waited so long to go see his family. And then, now he's into it with his sister, decides to get a hotel in the middle of the damn night, wakes up that baby to go to a hotel. And then, not even the cherry on top, the stupid boy doesn't even call his PO. He gets a call from the PO, but he should have been calling the PO. So now his parole officer is like, okay, you didn't check in. Guess what? You're getting some new jewelry tonight. That's right. You're getting an ankle monitor. So now that's going to change up his whole plan. But hey, where's his homies now? All his friends that he had to buy burgers for and all this business. it's just his family is so disappointed. You could see just the pure disappointment on his sister's face. And this is what his sister was trying to tell Indy, like, he's not really that reliable and stuff like that. But Indy, she's just blind and dumb and in love. And she really should have insisted. I mean, well, she's driving, she should have just went ahead and took him right to his family's house. But she doesn't use her brain, so that's the problem with her. And once she starts revealing her concerns about the evening, he turned around and tells her she's a pen pal. Yeah, that's it. You're a pen pal. Because she's feeling like we're going to be getting married and having kids and doing all this stuff. He's like, no, you're a pen pal. So, I don't think that's going to be enough of a wake-up call for her, unfortunately. So now it's time for Chance and Taylor. And she's getting ready, and just in all of her excitement, she looks like she's about to burst at the seams to pick up this man. Now, there's an age difference, pretty considerable. What is she, 26 and he's 41? Okay. I mean, I know 26, you can still be a little bit airheadish at 26. It can happen. But you should just be wise enough to know by that age to not reach into the prison system to try and find someone as a partner. I mean, her head is so far in the clouds. I mean, she is so excited. And she has big eyes, right? So her eyes are very expressive, and they just look so, like when she picks them up and they're in the car together, it's just, she's so like coquettish, and just, I mean, she is really into this guy. She's really seriously into him. Of course he's into her. I mean, why wouldn't he be? But I just don't get it. I don't get it. And they're all kissing, and their teeth are all like, I don't know. That's, I have no idea. Doesn't she have a child? Like, here we go. All right, so now it's time for Rick and Radine. So Radine is due to come out pretty soon, and Rick is shopping for her because she will need some basic essentials when she comes out. Just basic underwear, basic panties. So naturally, he goes to a lingerie shop. He takes his best friend / roommate Ramona with him, and she does not seem to tell him that, hey, you might want to just maybe, coming out of prison, you could just go to Walmart and get her like a 5-pack of underwear or something like that. But yeah, they're in the lingerie shop. I just have no idea what for. So Radine calls, and then she discovers that Ramona is in the background. She's helping Rick shop. And she's like, well, what, why does she need to be there? Like, she feels threatened, basically. And Rick said to us that, she feels threatened about him having a female roommate, and that actually Ramona does, in fact, or he feels that she does have a crush on him. And it's like, Ramona doesn't want to see Radine's face, okay? First of all, because she knows no matter what, she's going to be skinnier than her and younger than her, traipsing around that house, probably in that lingerie that she helped buy, okay? And, I mean, that's just going to be an entire mess. She's worried about what's like going to be like to have another woman living in the house and stuff like that. This is not the kind of setup that's supposed to happen. So now Rick goes to visit Radine's parents, and they seem to support this relationship. And God only knows why. God only knows why. I would never, I mean, ever. If my child were to bring home somebody 20 years old, what? You gotta listen. So anyway, they start talking, and the father is expressing concern that his fear is that Rick, who is an addict, will relapse, and his daughter, who is an addict, will also relapse, and then the two of them together will be just a complete, double trouble, downward spiral. And the mom's over there just smiling. It just makes no sense to me. And then they start talking about her parole or her coming home, and she is supposed to come home. Well, Rick thinks he's going home with her, but the parents say, no, she's coming home to stay with us. And he's like, whoa, huh? So he's all confused, and now he's upset about that. And then, to make matters worse, Radine calls and says, oh, you know what? Release date has been moved because there's a COVID situation, and, sorry, Charlie, basically. So, yeah, that's another situation. So now it's time for Kevin and Tiffany. Now, we haven't met Tiffany yet. She's still incarcerated, and Kevin meets up with his buddies. When he meets up with them, within seconds, this girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend, pops up, all right? And she has been in, she's just been there since we've seen him on camera, we've seen her on camera. And they have, I guess it's just basically an off and on again, basically kind of friends with benefits type situation. On Sundays, they get together. He has not completely severed ties with this girl, all right? And the fact that she pops up every time he's in public, that's another situation within itself. So that's gonna present itself later on once Tiffany comes home. And he's like brushing it off, making it seem like she's just purely an ex, but it's obvious that they're still together. I mean, hello, we're not stupid. And he's the Texas boy. He's got that Southern charm. He's kind of slow, and when he starts talking, and I can go ahead and listen. All right, y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all something about me, all right? So my family, they're from the South too, all right? And I can go and slip right on into a Southern accent. No problem. Them Southern boys, sometimes they open up their mouths, and it's just like honey and maple syrup's coming right and dripping right off their lips, because they are just so sweet and just so smooth with all that talking. That's what I'm getting with Kevin, okay? He is very different from the Northern boys, all right? There's something in that. And I think this is how he's been getting all these girls that, well, he claims, but he subtly brags, but you can tell he's basically, he's been dating around Texas. He's definitely been out there in those Texan streets. And I wonder how Tiffany's gonna feel about that when she comes home. But anyway, he drives 4 hours to go get her, and then he stops at a hotel overnight. And then in the morning, he gets there to the destination, and he's basically being told that she's not being released today. He's getting brick walls, and he's just, you can hear him on the phone. He's just got that little, that politeness and that kindness in his voice. I could hear it on the phone, and I bet that's his little killer weapon that he uses for all these little dating scenarios, okay? Now, I do not think that this boy is ready to settle down with this woman behind bars. Listen, 97% of them I do not feel are ready to settle down. These people need time to get out. They need to reacclimate to life and learn what it's like to, have to, make sure you pay that cell phone and your utilities and, stuff. There's so many things that are involved to basically avoid recidivism, right? So you have to really take it step by step, and just going straight into these relationships doesn't usually work. Now, Brittany and Marcelino, there are the exceptions to the rule. There is Brittany and Marcelino, but most people are not Brittany and Marcelino, right? So yeah, listen, we'll see next week what goes on with them, but hopefully we'll get to see Tiffany pretty soon, because I'm kind of interested. She physically is very different than his do you call her the ex? I say his current girlfriend, the blonde-haired girl, and this girl is brunette, and they look different. So, maybe he doesn't really have a type. I have no idea, but hopefully they'll bring her out, because I don't like when they string this along for all these episodes. They did that on 90 Day Fiance. It took forever to see this one girl, Mahogany. We had to wait like 6 episodes or something to see. Like, bring them out already. Roll them out. Come on. We're not here to just see a single guy, having, correctional facility calls on every episode. So we'll see if she's on there next week or not. So now it's time for Kayla and Martell, and she is dressed up in her get out of prison finest. I don't know what you call that get up. I realized that she wanted to dress up for him, and it's been a long time, but the strappy Roman sandal stiletto with the tight white bodycon dress was really giving adult entertainment. Okay. And, I was worried because she was walking back and forth. She's pacing because she's waiting for hours. The bus is late. And I'm like, boy, is somebody going to come up to her and try and solicit her? I really was concerned about that with that outfit. But, that's how they like to dress when they pick up the inmates for some reason. Sometimes the prisoners have requests for how short they want the skirts and the heels and stuff. It was just too much for me. So anyway, he finally comes out, they hug or whatever. And then, they go straight off to a hotel. So we already know what's going on. She already discussed her ovulation cycle cycle with us. Unfortunately, that was too much information. And once they get in there, they basically kick out the film crew. So we already know some boots are going to be knocking tonight, and we'll see what's going on with them next week. I wanted to get a little bit more introduction into who he was. I felt that it was just kind of too fast. So, you know, next week we'll get more into that. And, you know, let's see what happens. Do you all think that when Kevin and well, no, when Tiffany gets released and Kevin is with her and, you know, they're hanging out and dating or living together or whatever, do you think that ex is going to be popping up all the time? Well, I think she's still going to be popping up, but do you think she's going to be popping up and then it's going to end up popping off? Because that girl, Tiffany, she's going to be fresh from prison, okay? So it might wind up, you know, a little, maybe, you know, I don't know, some hands are going to get thrown or not, because that girl keeps popping up all the time. So, I mean, which, hey, if he's giving her mixed signals, then why wouldn't she, I guess? But I'm hoping that Tiffany does not wind up going right back to prison, you know, fighting this girl here. So anyway, we'll see. But anyway, thanks guys for tuning in. It was so nice chatting with you. Please stay safe, take care, check out some of my other videos. If you enjoyed the content, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, a like, share, whatever you feel like doing. You don't like it, give it a thumbs down. Who cares? Whatever. As long as you let me know that you watched it, I would appreciate that. So please take care of yourselves and Chippy Salacho.